What's up, budget builders? My name is Trill, and I am sad to say that things just keep getting worse and worse. Here in the United States, did y'all see we lost 13 Americans in Afghanistan yesterday? I mean, there continues to be something new every single week. When will it stop, guys? The pandemic is enough already. We have had enough already going into 19 months of this freaking virus. Politics is at its worst state in over 100 years. People are being unemployed for long times. People are on the verge of losing their homes, and more kids are occupying ICU beds than they ever have been in the past. And we considering going back to war with ISIS. What is going on? I mean, what's next, guys? Is Jeff Bezos going back to space again? We don't even care. But I do have some good news to share with you today, because some people are able to start receiving UBI, or Universal Basic Income, in the amount of $2,000. How many more states or counties are going to offer this assistance for low-income earners? I don't know if you guys know, but we have a few stories to cover today because former President Trump is being sued again, but this time by Capitol policemen over the January 6th riot. We also want to talk about the eviction moratorium that was just shot down by the Supreme Court. We also have a group of people about to receive this universal basic income of $2,000 per month, and we have one state about to send out more state stimulus checks as early as this weekend. But hey, before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. Now, on this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, Bitcoin and crypto, and stimulus update news. So if you're interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, guys, first off, we need to give thanks to our military, as we just lost 13 American troops yesterday in Afghanistan. I believe 11 of them were U.S. Marines, but if you didn't know, there was a bombing and gunfire that erupted yesterday by a terrorist group at the airport. They are saying that this was one of America's deadliest days in nearly the 20-year war in Afghanistan. There were also about 18 service members injured and a number of civilians that were killed or either wounded. President Biden finally responded to the threat hours later, and he said it's been a tough day. He called the service members heroes who were engaged in the dangerous, selfless mission to save the lives of others. ISIS later responded to the terror attack and claimed to be responsible for it. President Biden responded and said, "Know this, we will not forgive, we will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay for it." So, does this mean we're going back to war again with ISIS? I sure hope not, guys. As the U.S. allies scramble to leave Afghanistan, while President Biden is promising that the U.S. will retaliate for the attacks in Kabul, so there's more evidence that we might be going to war again. I sure hope not, guys. But anyways, hey, Biden has directed the Pentagon to develop plans to strike ISIS assets, their leadership, and their facilities in response to the airport bombings. To those who carried out this attack, as well as anyone who wishes American harm, know this: we will not forgive, we will not forget, we will hunt you down and make you pay. That's from President Biden. In other news, the Supreme Court ruled against President Biden and the CDC's temporary extension of the eviction moratorium, or the eviction ban. On Thursday, the Supreme Court blocked the attempt to extend the eviction ban, saying that Congress is the only one who could further make this extension, but failed to act in the several weeks leading up to the moratorium's expiring. The court stated if a federally imposed eviction moratorium is to continue, Congress must specifically authorize it. So, the eviction ban is no longer enforced or active. As a result of this ruling, families will face the painful impact of evictions, and communities across the country will face greater risk of exposure to COVID. A recent survey done by the Aspen Institute said that more than 15 million people live in households that owe as much as $20 billion to their landlords. As of July the 5th, roughly about 3.6 million people in the U.S. said that they faced eviction in the next 2 months. So we could be on the verge of a small housing crisis coming our way. For the landlords who have tenants, they are rushing to the courts with their eviction paperwork. This process can usually take up to 3 weeks to happen in a state like Texas, but in other states, it could take even longer. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, so be mindful of that. But keep in mind that I am too a landlord. But for anyone out there that is facing evictions right now and you refuse to get a job or a couple of jobs for that purpose because you're receiving unemployment benefits, that's just not right. There are a million jobs available right now and no one is taking them. Even for myself, I told my wife the other day that I feel really bad because when I go to stores or either restaurants and they have those huge signs up that says now hiring on the spot, I feel so bad that I personally want to apply for a job at those places just so that I can help out during these rough times. And I still have my own 9-to-5 job right now. And I do YouTube late at night. So obviously I don't have time to actually join one of these jobs, but I still feel like I can help these companies in some way. So for those individuals who haven't gone back to work or paid your landlord, that's not cool, guys. Get a job and work and try to pay on your rent or your mortgages to your landlords so that you don't have to be evicted. Just all you have to do is just pick up the phone and call your landlord and work out a payment plan, guys. And of course, I am only speaking to those who can physically work a job. This message doesn't apply to just everyone, guys, but it does apply to a lot of people. But if you are being evicted for other reasons, I definitely feel sad that this is happening to you. But for some people going 19 months of no rent payments, do we expect landlords to be able to expect another 19 more months? What are your thoughts, guys? Obviously, this is my opinion, but I would love to get your feedback, guys. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Former President Trump is being sued by 7 Capitol Police officers in regards to the January 6th riot on Capitol Hill. This lawsuit was filed against Mr. Trumpy and several of his associates and extremist group leaders on Thursday for alleging they organized a plot to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power. Now, I'm so sure Trump is laughing about this right now. This lawsuit argues that Trump and other defendants violated the 1871 KKK Act, which is part of the prohibited conspiracies to overthrow the federal government. I'm not exactly sure how far this lawsuit will actually go, but I mean, Congress already tried to impeach the guy and that failed. So filing this civil lawsuit might just be some smoke. The officers are seeking compensatory and punitive damages, the amounts of which would be determined by a jury at a trial. We'll just see how that goes, guys. Hey, there is another issuing of universal basic income. The Choctaw Nation is giving its members a $2,000 monthly stimulus check. A handful of Native American tribes are using the federal pandemic aid from the American Rescue Plan to give out new rounds of stimulus payments. The payments was announced last week and it would pay $2,000 to adult members over the next 2 years. For all Choctaw members 18 years or older can receive $1,000 annually for 2 years starting next month. And those that are younger than 18 years old can receive an annual payment of $700 for 2 years. Recipients must apply for the payments and attest that they were negatively impacted by the pandemic. Also, those that are 55 and older and those 18 to 55 with disabilities can receive a monthly allowance of $200. This started on August the 16th. Again, all of these are for those Choctaw Nation and their tribes. But I asked the question, guys, when are all the states and cities going to start offering universal basic income for all low-income earners? Why do we have to keep moving slow on providing some of that stimulus relief aid from the third stimulus package? Y'all remember they allocated about $46 billion in rental assistance funds. And so far, only about $2 billion has been used for that sole purpose. Some state governors are withholding that stimulus money for whatever reason. We just don't know yet. And lastly, guys, the second Golden State stimulus checks are about to go out to Californians very soon. California residents are expected to receive a second state stimulus check beginning at the end of August, which is basically right now. Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted this message yesterday. California is investing $5.2 billion to cover all the unpaid rent for lower income Californians who struggled during the pandemic. This is the largest rent relief package America has ever seen. California is roaring back and leaving no one behind. California has created the largest economic recovery bill, a $100 billion comeback plan that was passed by Governor Gavin Newsom back in July. And they are on the verge of sending out a second Golden State stimulus check of $600 to some of its residents. Again, I ask the same question. When will the other states do the same thing for its residents? Would it be safe to say that Governor Newsom cares about its residents and other governors don't? Or could it mean that Governor Newsom doesn't really care about the money and just throwing it all out the window? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. And with that being said, hey, this has been another fourth stimulus check update for today. Now, if you enjoy any of this information or found it to be useful or even laughed at one of my jokes, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.